Welcome to the Engerati studio live at European Utility Week. I'm Rose and I'm joined now by Henrik Mørck Mogensen, Senior Vice President of Electricity Systems at Kamstrup.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
We're going to focus our discussion a little bit on Kamstrup as a supplier of turnkey solutions. Can you tell us a bit more about the sort of projects you're working on? I know you're working with Bundock Energy, which might be a good example of that kind of turnkey.
We have a lot of interesting projects, and one of them definitely is the Bundock Energy project that we are well on the way with. I think one of the most interesting things about the Bundock Energy project case is actually, you know, the way that Bundock Energy chose to target this task of installing smart meters. I think in contrary to what we've seen in the latter years, Bundock Energy actually, I think, moved a bit away from perhaps a technology focus on, you know, what kind of communications technology, meter technology, all that good stuff, and moved actually a bit more inwards to look at their own business and actually ask the very interesting question is, okay, what is a smart metering system going to do for Bundock Energy? How is a smart metering system actually going to improve their business? You know, increase revenues, improve their operations, and dive into that, and actually opening up for suppliers like Kamstrup to give their view on how can a smart metering system help a utility like Bundock Energy improve their customer relations processes, their operations processes, and even their forecasting processes in terms of, you know, producing and buying electricity. So I think that's.
So were those the specific requirements that they were saying? This is what we want to achieve.
Well, actually, they actually laid out in very great detail a view of their day-to-day business processes as they are, and how they envisioned them. And they asked each tenderer to dive into that and say, okay, so let's dive into the billing process. And this is how we do it today. This is how we envision it with these systems and these roles and these procedures. And how can you improve that in terms of improving data quality, speed, automation, all that. And also opening up in the operations, which I think is probably also quite interesting, is how can a smart metering system provide insight into their operations in terms of investments and in operations. And they, in quite good detail, they opened up for that. So I think, and for us at least, that was the first we've seen that from a utility.
Okay. And what about sort of the other end of the meter? Were they thinking, right, how do we want to help the customer, or how can we meet the customer's needs from a smart meter?
Exactly. So end customer or consumer communications actually played a vital role. Also in the tender is how can you know, Bundock Energy is a company like anybody else, right? And the most important thing for them is to be relevant for their customers. So have day-to-day communications with their customers rather than, you know, just sending a bill once a month or once a year. For them to tap into smart home and to, you know, on a day-to-day basis be relevant in terms of, you know, communicating with you as a consumer on your energy behavior. So have your energy behavior changed or not? So the interfaces and the business potential was also part of their decision. Of course, the main focus was on the metering part, because that was where the government incentives came from. But, you know, they saw the possibility, saying, okay, we're going to do this, so we need to tap into all of these other areas as well to make a good and positive business case.
And when will that rollout be complete?
Well, the rollout will be complete in 2020. Then they will have, or we will have exchanged the full 1 million meters. We'll have done the full integrations. We're actually done with that now. We are starting the pilot rollout just within a month.
Okay.
and then so from then on it's full speed ahead with the installation and the getting up to gear. And I think a focus from them was also they want to generate value from the first meter installed.
Okay.
So actually what our shared vision is, within a few hours of the meter being installed at your home, you're able to, to log into your personal web page and follow your energy consumption. And not at the end, but from the first day on the first meter. So we've done a lot of preparations, but now we're ready.
Okay, is that achievable? That it's going to happen?
Yeah, and actually we've done it also in other projects, specifically in Norway with Agder Energy, which is energy utility in the southern part of Norway. And actually there, within a few hours of the meter being installed, the customers has access to their data.
Okay.
And I think that's again interesting also for utility, because that makes them relevant for their end customer, and that makes our products relevant for the end customer as well, which is a benefit for Kamstrup.
Plus it's very tangible for the end user to immediately be able to get benefit from the smart meter.
Exactly, because it's these kind of investments typically has some sort of government incentives or investments in it, and that it's my money, so I want to see something come out of it, and not just have a electrician come by and change the meter. I want to see some value, and now I can see my energy consumption on a quarterly basis and follow that, and I can use that to increase my awareness on my energy behavior.
What is Dong Energy's approach to data and storage and analytics? What's the kind of model they're using?
Well, I think in the first phase of the project, it's very much about focusing on getting the billing process and the requirements towards. In Denmark, there's like a data hub, which is a central database where all metering data come in, and the other companies, can build a business case on that data. So phase one is to be compliant, and phase two will tap into the analytics and focus a bit more on the operational side of maintaining a distribution network. So that's in phase two, and we will be starting that within a year or so.
So you're obviously active in very many markets, and you get to see many different utilities and how they're operating.
Yeah.
What's your general feeling within Europe of the smart metering rollout? Do you feel it's kind of on target, going to plan?
Well, I think we're seeing, that the industry, or both the industry but also the utilities, there's been a learning curve, I think, both in the way you tender a smart metering system, but also as a supplier, how you build it, how you sell it. And I think the trend is really that it moves much more to be a discussion on generating business value rather than on technology. And I think some of the utilities that were early movers on this, I think they have a task to do, to go back and really investigate in their business how can their investment really be put to use and generate more value, because it's my firm belief that there's a lot of untapped value in the installed meter base across Europe.
For example, being able to develop energy services using the data that you already have on your customers?
Exactly. I think there are two areas. I think that the billing, of course, is still a thing in why you should do smart metering. But I think, to my perspective, it's not the only thing. It's probably not even the biggest thing. I think there are two big other elements that we need to tap into now, and one is as we discussed earlier, is the end customer relevance or end customer communication. How to make this relevant for the end customer to improve their energy behavior, which will come, back to benefit our global climate challenges. That's one, and the other is actually improving their operations and really generating insight into their distribution network and seeing, okay, where do they have excess capacity? Where do they have capacity bottlenecks? Where should they invest and build their distribution net much more intelligently than what we're actually doing today? So I think in these two areas we definitely need to tap into that, and that requires integrations and interoperability and big data analytics. So and for all these reasons, this is why also we at Kamstrup think it's very, it's a must that we need to dive into these to really release the value of what we are delivering, and we want to help our customers do that.
Thank you, Henrik. That's all we've got time for.
That's good.
Thank you for joining us today. And remember, you can watch more interviews from European Utility Week on the Engerati YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.